get back into it? Like you went back to the same
place, same
people, places, and things.
Yep. You know, you hang out in the barbershop long enough to get your haircut type shit. So I ended up getting loaded again, and I gotta get my timelines here straight a little bit. When I think I used for a little bit, all that was a big old blur. I couldn't even tell you what happened in that amount of time. I ended up moving out to Florida to get clean again, with my mom. She's like, "Oh, come move out here."
Was your mom using or no?
No, my mom drinks.
Yeah.
And she's just an alcoholic. You know, she won't admit it, but she is. I think she is. So I move out there. I end up living with her for a quick minute. Then I moved in with my sister. And we just, I can't say I was clean then either, because I would drink, I'd smoke weed, and do blues, Roxy's. And
how'd you get into that? That's a completely another animal of itself.
Yeah. So my sister's ex-husband did those every once in a while. So I didn't do it like constantly. It was like whenever he had them, here, shoot one, and I'd crush it, snort it. It was all right. So while I was out there, something happened before I left. I got arrested.
In California?
Yes. And then I got a dry run.
What's that?
So they didn't file on me, but they had a year to file. So when I was out there maybe 9 months, and they ended up filing. Ventura did. And so they're like, either you got to come back or you're going to have a warrant. And Florida's an extraditable state, so they would have extradited me. So I'm like, all right, I got to go back. I got to go do my time. Or I don't even remember what the charges were, to be honest with you. I know there's, I want to say there was a couple felonies. They ended up dropping them to misdemeanors, and like, I didn't do much time at all, I don't think, for it. I think I did like 30 days or something. So I get out of doing that. I come back. I do that. And then my sister passed away. I still didn't know. Yeah, when I came back, I still wasn't using meth. So, I wasn't using meth while I was back. Even when I got out, I wasn't using meth, but I was drinking and smoking pot. And then my sister died. I flew out there to funeral, came back. I met my wife now. And then she was in Prototypes, which was a women's, you know what Prototypes is? So Prototypes is a women's facility in Oxnard, like a rehab for family or women and children.
Mm-hmm.
And so we ended up hanging out, not together yet, but we ended up hanging out, and eventually she relapsed she was a heroin addict, and a meth addict, so she did both. So one day I found out she was doing heroin. This is how I got onto heroin. I found out she was using heroin, and I was like, come on, let me try it. I'm like, I got off of meth, no problem. I can just do it once. And I don't, I won't touch it again. So she lets me hit it one time off the foil, because she wasn't.
But she didn't want it. Let you.
No, not for a minute. But I convinced her. And then fell in love with it. Fell in love with heroin. And yeah, man.
What was that addiction like versus the meth addiction?
So heroin is a whole different high, a whole different like.
Whole nother animal, right?
Yeah, it's I have to say I can't say either one's worse, but I did a lot of stupid shit on it, like to get money for it, like I only did heroin for about 5 years until I got clean this time. But in those 5 years was probably the worst 5 years of my whole life. I feel like throughout that time, I probably went to 30 sober livings in the valley. Couldn't last 2 weeks without getting kicked out of them because I kept using.
You're going straight to sober living, no detox, no nothing like that.
Right.
So just straight to sober living.
Yeah.
Okay. And how are you like paying for the sober living? Are they like free?
No. So they would usually let me in, and then like I'd find work right away or something, yeah, and to pay for it, and they were cheap at 10. That there was no like those weren't insurance ones. They were just like pay cash every month, run down, fucking not nice, like.
And are all the people in there using, or are they like clean? Or they're trying to be clean?
It's a mixture. Yeah. Like there's a couple guys that were trying. Usually it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
A lot of people are using in there. I think the main thing for me wasn't even the people in there. It was more or less like my wife and me were like, she would use and I'd be trying to get clean, then I would use because she was using, or vice versa. Like she would go to sober living, I'd be ripping and running somewhere, and then we'd just take each other out for years, and everybody...
So it's a lot more difficult when you're a couple that is using as opposed to just you yourself.
Totally. So multiple people were like, you guys can't be together, you guys are never gonna get clean together, you guys and we didn't care what anybody said. We stayed together, even though it took us so long to get clean. I feel like, Did
you guys get clean together or separately?
Separate. So I'm homeless in the valley, living off of the 101 in Reseda, right next to Tarzana on the side of the freeway in a tent with a group of guys. For a long time, with little bits of jail time in between all that, in LA. Just that was my life. Like I'd go steal something, get busted, go to jail, get out, come back, do the same thing, different, And
at this time, are you only using heroin, or does
both.
Meth come back?
Meth comes back. I end up using meth too, again.
When does that happen? How does that happen? How does the meth come back?
So I think once I got kicked out of where I was before all the sober livings and stuff, once I became homeless, for the first, not first time ever, but like consistent homeless,
Yeah.
I started using meth again just to stay awake and then like to be able to commit my whatever to get my money for my heroin.
Yeah.
So I mean, we do all kinds of shit. Like me and my wife now, we were kind of like, she would drop me off and then disappear for days and then come back, and then like she had a bunch of dope somehow, and and then I would be like kicking and trying to fucking scrape together $20, and like a lot of that for years, and just in and out of jail, on the streets. At that time, like multiple friends die, and like people are dying left and right. This
From
is before,
overdoses?
Yeah, this is before fentanyl even, hit the streets, and then so I get busted for having some checks, somebody's checks I found, and I get an identity theft charge. I get 6 months for it in county. I think I did like I don't know. No. I don't know. I think I did some time for it, but I got out. And then a couple more times I went to jail. A little short because LA County, you're only doing like, I think at that time it was like 18%. Sometimes it's 10%, but I think at that time it was like 18%. So I'm in and out of jail.
And why is that? Because it's like overpopulated.
Yeah.
So they just gotta let you guys go unless you're doing some crazy stuff where they gotta keep you in there, like
Yeah. So that, and then like, it's crazy because every time I got busted in LA, before I'd get out, they'd have to ship me to Ventura because I would violate. It would be a violation in Ventura. So I'd always go to that jail, get out of that jail, come back out, do it again. So like eventually, let's see. So I'm out. I catch another identity theft. I catch another identity theft. I get like a year. I do half that, 6 months. I get out. I'm out 4 days. I catch another one.
Identity?
Yeah. I go back again. Same shit. Same situation, same time.
And how old are you at this point?
I was 29, 30. 29, 30. I'm 40. Turning 40 right now. I have 8 years, so it was like 31 and some change when I got clean for the last time. So it had to be like 29, 30. So I get out again after that. I'm out 5 days. And me and my wife met up again. We're not married at that time, but I call her my wife because we are now. So we meet up. We go out to Oxnard, meet up with one of my buddies who's now passed away also. Rest in peace to him,
Rest his soul.
Yeah. We end up like, she rips us off for some, not even just like, it was underweight, whatever. She got all pissed. I'm like, dude, you burn us a little bit, oh, I'll get you tomorrow. I'm like, fuck it. So my dad's living in like Apple Valley where he is now. And he's like, oh, come out here. And I'm like,
how far is that from LA?
I think like 2 hours, maybe.
North, south?
But it's in the desert. It's like by Victorville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
towards Vegas.
I guess east. Yeah. So I'm headed out that way. We end up stopping in San Gabriel Valley because I'm like, oh, let's go stop and see where I used to, live on our way out there. And, I was tweaking that whole 5 days. I didn't sleep at all. I'm shooting in my neck because I have no veins left. So that's where I was eventually shooting. And
how was that like? You just
hold my breath and my veins would pop out and in the mirror. And then hit myself in the neck. So
you were shooting both heroin and meth?
During those 5 days, I think I was just doing meth. I was doing heroin too, but at that point I was so tweaked out. I don't think the heroin I haven't felt the heroin. I was so like spun out of my mind
And you're shooting both of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would mix them together. And so one night we're sleeping in the car. Well, she's sleeping. I'm not. And I decided to go out. Told her I was like, gonna go get some ice in our water jugs or whatever. I end up like tweaking out, doing whatever, dumpster diving, some shit like that. I get rolled on.
What does that mean?
The cops pull up.
Okay. Shine
their lights on me, and I'm just like, bing. They're like, you're fucking high. Like, come here, and I'm like, fuck, now, dude. They're like, you're going to jail. And my dumbass, I'm stupid. I'm like, oh, you go tell my girlfriend I'm going to jail so she's not wondering where I am. That was stupid because they ended up arresting her too. I'm like, fuck. She still gets at me about that. You told him I was. I'm like, you were sleeping. So, they search the car. They find a bunch of profiles of people's information, and Suboxone. And I told them it was mine, so I took the rap for it, and then so they like site release. They took her in and released her. Took me in, started questioning me, all kinds of shit. I'm like, I don't know, I don't know anything. Oh, where are your drugs, dude? I'm not even from here, like that kind of thing. And they're like, well, it looks like you just got out for this shit, like, So they tell her he's not getting out.
Mm-hmm.
You can just go. So about 4 a.m, they ended up letting me out. They let me out. She was gone. She took off back to Simi Valley area. And then I'm pretty much like on the streets in Glendora. And I run into some other guys, homeless guys. I'm running around mailboxes, getting all this shit out of mailboxes. I ended up with like a bunch of IDs and credit cards and this and that. So 10 hours after I get released, I get rolled on again by the same cops in the middle of the night, riding the bike, and I threw them, and they like, one cop fucking pulled me over, the other cop fucking grabbed my shit I threw, and they're just like, bro, like, really? Like, we just let you out, dude, like hours ago. And I'm like, fuck, I know. And they're like, you ain't getting out this time. So I go in, sitting there for 4 days. I go to court. They push my court date off. They offer me 7 years. I didn't take it. I don't want that. I'm not taking 7 years. So they take me down to Men's Central. A couple months of going to court. I get them down to 2 years with half. It's considered a prison sentence, but I didn't go upstate because it's nonviolent. I took that deal. And then I had to go to San Fernando court, and they gave me the same sentence, 2 years with half, to run concurrent. So that means they ran together, not back to back. But that's partially why I'm clean today. You know what I mean? Like, didn't all these other times being busted was like short term, This time was like I had to do a year, and it's like by then I was 30 years old, 31, 30 years old, 30, I think. Yeah. 30. I was tired. I went in there, used for like the first 3 months off and on when I could get it in there. And then eventually I remember my last time using, shoving a doll ass fucking homemade fucking syringe in my fucking arm.
How do you home make a syringe?
Rubber band, plungers, and it's just little.
How do you make a tiny needle?
It was one they pass around, so I wasn't the only one using it, obviously, but lucky I didn't get anything. But
yeah,
like I just sitting in there, and I'm like, do I really want to live my life like this anymore? No, not really. So I decided to start going to meetings in there. My cellie at the time was reading the Bible to everybody at night. And then eventually I started doing that. So after everybody said their good nights through the tears, I would read the Bible to everybody. A passage out of the Bible. And
what made you want to do that?
Because I love Jesus. I was baptized before I started using heroin in 2014. And that's when, right after that, is when I started using heroin. It was weird. Remember I was saying that the devil just, boom, I feel like the devil just ran and, no, you're not taking him.
Yeah.
So, and the whole time of being homeless and running around out there, like, I I was always like, Jesus, why are you doing this to me? That was my thing. You know, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why do I have to go through this shit? You know, why can't I just fucking get clean? But really, like, he gives us the freedom of choice, you know, to choose to sin and do this shit we do. And there's a reason for it. Apparently, like, I realize there's a reason. Now I realize there's a reason for it all, you know?
Right.
Like, it makes you stronger in your faith and how you can help other people, or even like this is experiences you can share with somebody who might have gone through that same situation. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I feel that Jesus let me go through all this to make me stronger as a person. And if it wasn't for him, I would have never got the desperation or the willpower or to want to do this. You know what I mean?
So when did you feel that divine intervention?
Sitting in the jail cell.
And how did that come about?
I think just reading the Bible convicted me, and I had a lot of time to think about my life and like what I want to do with my life, and I'm a believer, so I believe that Jesus has the power to take that away from you if you truly pray it away. So I prayed and I asked him to lift the obsession to use and just to help me give myself a chance, and I would change, and so I feel like.
And did it work?
Yes.
And how did you know that it worked? Like you're committed to this sobriety. You're asking God.
I did not want to use anymore.
Instantly, how did it happen?
I just didn't want to use. I was like, I'm done.
Amen.
As many times as I've told myself in the years that I'm done, I truly, it's almost, it's hard to explain. Like, I truly felt like I was done this time around. And it's crazy because I was never able to do it. Never.
On your own.
On my own. Yes, Narcotics Anonymous helps me for meetings and like talking and like the steps and like helping other people, or even like seeing newcomers come in strung out, like reminds me, like, so let's be real, like I'm still an addict, recovering addict, but I've watched so many people with multiple years clean get loaded like that, like, and it's like, I realize, like, it's easy. It's one bad thought gets you loaded again.
And what do you think it is that, draws these people back to drugs or alcohol?
Mental health. Either mental health, they start hanging around the wrong people again. They're just not done. I don't know. They don't have Jesus in their life. I mean,
they got years clean. Don't you think that's definition of done, or no?
Depends. I mean, I'm not sure. They either, so like, I know most of the people that I've known who's gone out with multiple years clean, usually start off by, I stopped going to meetings. I thought I was cured.
Mm-hmm.
Figured I could
complacency.
Drink. Yeah, think you can drink again, or smoke weed, or right. Like, and like you said before, like some people can do that and not go back, but some people can't.
Right.
And I know for me, I can't, because if I start smoking weed or drinking, it's only a matter of time before I'm back out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're unlocking that door.
Right. It's a gateway. It's a gate. I don't need it. And then once I realized, like, once I got out, I moved into sober living. I stayed there a year. Once I realized I can have fun and live my life without the use of drugs and alcohol, it was easier for me. I realized I can get through anything.
Yeah.
Like, and not have to use, you know? And my support system is big, dude. My support system, having Jesus in my life, having my wife's family who's all about Jesus, my wife being about Jesus. Like, oh, so while I was in jail, sorry, let me back up a little bit. While I was in jail, I couldn't get a hold of her for the longest time. I'm like, where the hell is she? I call her parents during Christmas time. They're like, oh, she's supposed to be in here hours ago. She's not here. We don't know where she is. Da 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 da. So I write her a letter. I'm like, look, if you're not clean when I get out, I can't see you. I can't be with you because I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
You know, so I get a letter about a month before I got out from her saying I'm in prototypes again and I love you and I want to be clean when you get out. So I got out. She was in prototypes when I went to sober living, and I went to sober living in Ventura. I had to get out of the valley, dude. I wanted to get out of the valley.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be out here anymore. I have plenty of friends that are clean out here, but then I've seen a lot of them go out over the years too. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I have love for them, but I found my home in Ventura County with the people in the program, with my church family, I found a good group of guys to do my Bible study. You know, it's funny, our Bible study that we go to on Thursday nights. So have you seen The Chosen?
No, but I should.
It's good. So like the last one, well, all of them. So this is like pretty much Jesus' life with the disciples and all that. So that's what like this Bible study reminds me of. So like the owner of the house we go to, he's a long Christian, like 30 years Christian, and very knowledgeable of the Bible.
And he's in recovery?
No, so he's not a drug addict.
Okay.
Never was into it like that. But most of us that are in the Bible study are recovering addicts.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel a lot of times I feel like we're the disciples and this is Jesus up there, like teaching us, because like we're a bunch of knuckleheads,
or a conduit of Jesus.
Yeah, it is, not literally Jesus, but like it reminds me of that, like, and I love it, man. I love, like, church is good, but I wanted more. I wanted that
connection
and like to study the Bible and actually study the Bible, right, has been a big thing for me nowadays, at least, you know what I mean? Like, I still do my program. I do my NA. I don't go to as many meetings as I want to, as I should probably, but I found Jesus, dude, and I think that is a big thing. Like, I'm not going to knock out my recovery. I still have all my recovery friends. I do go to meetings, but I don't go to meetings every day. My life's busy now. You know what I mean? I got work. I got family. I got, I do church stuff. I'm up at 4 a.m. to go to work. I come home. I go to the gym. You know what I mean? I work out at 3, 4 times, 5 times a week. I fulfill my life these days with positive stuff, and
yeah. Sitting in that jail cell where you're, coming to Christ and asking him for his intervention, what verse stuck out to you? Like what did he use to communicate to you with?
I think it would be in the as cliche as it sounds, is maybe the serenity prayer. Yeah. God grant me that serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and wisdom to know a difference. Mainly because of the setting I was in. Like I wasn't more knowledgeable now a little bit, I'm still, but like that kind of like with the setting I was in, the pressure that you're under in there, and you're in hell trying to talk about God and Jesus, like everybody in there is like, I love Jesus, and then going, hurt somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, what do you call it? Contradictive,
Hypocrisy.
Yeah. So like, and it's like, I don't know, man. That stuck with me, and just, I think just,
Would you say that was the catalyst of your sobriety, was finding God? Or, like that
so I guess looking back now, yes. At the time, I probably didn't know. You know what I mean? I was still like fresh into it, like literally probably over the past like 3-4 years is when I've really been like
diving into
it, yeah, per se, like I've been going to church, yeah, ever since Bible study, and like I'm not perfect, like I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? I'm not.
Yeah. Nobody is.
Nobody's perfect, but like I was a perfect Christian, of course, but I am learning, you know what I mean? And I do have faith, and I do pray, and I do like pray before I eat. I try to pray before I go to sleep. I pray on my way to work in the morning, and it's not the prayers of God, help me out of this. God, get me through, it's thank you. Always thank him first.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus, for dying on the cross for my sins. And for my family being healthy, me being healthy, being clean. Help me, guide me through today. Like that's like my prayers, help me, guide me through the day, without blowing up on somebody or, like whatnot, like sitting in traffic, yelling at people, like and I've been praying a lot to forgiveness,
to forgive others or yourself?
Myself. I'm pretty good, I think, at forgiving others. It's myself that I have an issue with.
Yeah.
I tend to block things out of my life, even like talking about shit in my past, like in my life, I'm just like, I'm pretty like, I block it out, man, because I don't want to talk about it, I don't know, like it's probably something I need to address eventually, but like talking with my dad, like about that stuff, like I need to do that eventually, like I did start talking to my mom about everything, like, so that that helps, like my wife now, like, so obviously we made it and we're clean. She's got 7 years, I had 8 years. Praise God.
You guys. Yeah.
Praise God. It's crazy because everybody like who's seen us out there is just like, oh my God, you guys made it. Thought you guys were gonna die, and she's very big Christian. So that's funny. She grew up totally opposite of me. She grew up in the church and still went down that path of drugs, and so now she is going through, she battles with mental health problems, and she's taking care of that right now. Thank you, insurance, for my job, like,
yeah,
she can address herself, and take care of herself, she's going to school at the same time, for psychology. She's actually going to be working in the field of recovery also. So
amazing.
Yeah, man. I mean,
quite a journey.
It is. I'm sure I left some stuff out along the way, but it's hard to remember everything. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know, man. I just know that uh
I mean, God just,
yeah, God has changed my life, dude, completely. You know, and to anybody who watches this thing, like, there's hope. There's hope. So if I can get clean, fuck, I think anybody can get clean, dude. Like, I had a rough childhood, to being homeless, to using drugs, like, I think worse than a lot of people, you know. No hope, not thinking I can get clean. Dude, look at me now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man, you're doing great.
I think Jesus is a big thing. Not everybody believes in Jesus, though. You know what I mean? So, like,
I think they should.
I think they should too. And I'm just now, recently, I think, at a point where I can openly talk about Jesus with people
Yeah.
without being like, oh, they're gonna think of me weird if I talk to them about Jesus, you know? Because like some
Let
people,
them.
but I don't care right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? I rock a cross on the back of my truck. You know what I mean?
Love
like,
that, man.
Like, I'm all about it now. Like, and I have no shame about it. You know?
Yeah.
And
For sure. People should hear the truth, you know,
I do.
as
I
like
think so.
repelling as that might sound, you know, when you
Yeah.
dive into it. Like, one advice I could give to somebody who's like searching for some kind of like theological answers
Mhm.
is just look at the history. Go research the history. Don't dive into the text,
Mhm.
but look at the credibility of all the people that were around Jesus, the people who wrote about him,
Yes.
the historical text, the manuscripts, the times, the dates,
Mhm.
the, you know, outside sources talking about Jesus. You got, I don't want to butcher his name. I think it's a Theophilus, who was a Jewish historian who mentions Christ, you know. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of deep diving that people can do to have, you know, evidence as to, okay, obviously, you know, we're all skeptics, right? Like, we want to know that what we're believing in is true. That information is out there.
Yeah.
Dive into it. Shout out Wesley Huff. I mean, you know, if you're looking for some answers, like historical context and things like that. Have you seen Wesley Huff?
No, I have not.
Great guy. He was on Rogan. He was on PBD. I mean, he's a Canadian historian who's like an expert in manuscripts, who knows like ancient Greek, ancient Hebrew, Aramaic. He's read all the, you know, ancient documents, ancient manuscripts. Like, go into that rabbit hole. Just start there, you know. Like, I wouldn't even say, of course I would say open the Bible, start reading, because
But
that's
then
how
you can
God is going to communicate with
Yeah.
you. But dive into the historical evidence of it. Like, there's evidence that this isn't based on some BS, like, hey, I made this up and then boom.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's truth out there. Just find it, you know. That's all I could say.
People wanna disprove it all the time,
They can't.
and they can't. The Bible is witness testimony, pretty much. You know, there's no book of Jesus. Jesus didn't write the Bible. You know what I mean? People who was there with Jesus, heard Jesus, witnessed Jesus, you know, wrote the Bible.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
And
you got Paul, who wrote most of the, you know, New Testament, who
Yeah.
was I think he was one of the, I hope I don't get butchered for that, but he was definitely like high up in the Jewish, like, I guess, like that structure of like the whole rabbi system. Was, I don't know if he was a Pharisee or not, but he was literally on his way to crucify or to persecute some Christians
Mhm.
when you know, Christ appears to him, and then he gets knocked off of his horse, right? That's how we have the saying, you know, get off your high horse.
Yeah.
And Christ appears to him and tells him, you know, why are you persecuting my people? And he was literally persecuting Christians, became the most devout follower of Christ, and then suffered a horrible death for not denouncing his faith. So there's so much that people can find nowadays, and like, the internet gives us access to all this info. I would just tell the viewer, dive into it, just check it out. Like, you know, no one's pushing Christianity upon you or anything like that. Just give yourself the opportunity to look at the evidence, and then whatever, you know, there's all these, like, you know, apocryphal books that are saying, oh, you know, like the book of Barnabas and this and that, all these books, why aren't they in the Bible? They're saying different things about Jesus. Look at those too. Read that. Look at the historical context. Like, the book of Barnabas or whatever is like medieval forgery that's quoting Dante's Inferno. So there, all the things that are not in the Bible, that's for a good reason, because it's not historically accurate.
Right.
It doesn't line up, but whatever is in it right now does. And just literally give yourself the opportunity to dive into it. Check out Wesley Huff, man. Like, he's great.
I need to.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like, when it comes to like that historical evidence and like really proving that, hey, whatever was written wasn't BS. Like, these people were actually there while Christ was there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt. No historian will tell you like Christ didn't exist. Every historian will tell you Christ exists. Like, we have how many sources about Caesar? I think like couple. We have 10 times more on Jesus, right? Like, we know Caesar was a historical figure. We have more certainty that Christ was a historical figure than we do about Caesar. So just little, spiel there. But I
even non-believers believe that Jesus was alive. They just don't believe he was the Messiah. You know what I mean? So like,
if you don't believe Jesus is the Messiah, read Isaiah.
Yeah.
Look at all the prophecies he's fulfilled. I mean,
it's crazy. Like, the Jewish people are still waiting. They think he wasn't, because they thought he was going to come and rule the world. And
yeah,
and
they were expecting to have some kind of like military figure, but
yeah, that didn't happen. He came on a donkey.
Yeah, and that was written in
Yeah.
Isaiah. I think something like your king will ride on a donkey. And I mean, there's so much to it, man. There's a lot to it.
Oh, I have a lot to learn still. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I've been diving into it myself recently. I mean, I grew up in the church, but of course, like going to, like, I'm in law school at the moment, so for me, like, evidence is important. Like, I want to understand, like, what's the context, why is this even a thing? Like, it's important to know that whatever you're reading is true, right? Like, of course, having faith and believing is very important, but also you want to be sure that it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely, I need to.
The
I
more
would love
you do
to read
it,
that.
man.
So like, I feel Wesley Huff,
man. Shout out Wesley Huff, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to have you on the show, but I don't think you're in recovery, so can't have you, man. Sorry. Maybe I can. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, man, there's so much out there, and it's just, if you seek, you will find, man. Like, that's what I can say, to the viewer who had a similar background as you, or different, they're maybe just realizing that they have a problem. What is a piece of advice that you would give them, like the most crucial piece of advice that you would give them that will bring them to sobriety?
Have faith that you could do it. There is hope. It's possible. It's definitely possible. You don't just give yourself a chance. Straight up, give yourself a chance. We always say, give yourself a year. If you don't like it, we'll refund the misery, man. You can go right back to it.
Right back.
There's nothing's gonna change out there. Drugs are still gonna be there. People are still gonna be there. Probably your same homies are gonna be there. Hopefully not, but give yourself a chance. Your life will change. Yeah, your life will definitely change. I mean, you may not get everything back as quick as you want, but that's a good thing,
Yeah.
People.
Instant gratification.
There's a lot of people like get the car, the girl, the place, the this, the that so quickly, and then next thing you know, they lose it all again because they went out. But give yourself a chance. Go to meetings. If you're a believer, even go to church, just give yourself a shot at this, and everybody can get clean if you want,
Amen.
You got to have the willingness to do it, and if you're tired of that lifestyle, give it a shot.
How important is finding God to this whole process,
For me personally, I feel like finding Jesus is even with the 12 steps. You know, the 12 steps has God in it and comes out of the Bible. You know, so like my take on it is you find Jesus, give all your stuff up to Jesus. Jesus helps you help other people, and in turn helps you. You know, so like Jesus is big. Jesus is huge. If it wasn't for Jesus, I wouldn't be here.
He's the truth,
It's the truth.
the way, and the life, right?
Yeah, if it wasn't for Jesus, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be clean. I wouldn't be doing this. You know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't have the peace and the serenity in my heart. I wasn't always like this, you know. I've done some bad shit, you know, and Jesus forgave me. I forgive myself, and in turn, I forgive others. I forgive my stepdad for what he did growing up. You know, I forgive my mom for giving me up. I forgive my dad for giving me on drugs. I try to forgive everybody in my life, you know, and including myself. And that's another thing. If you get clean, you got to be able to forgive yourself, because that'll take you out alone. You know what I mean? Like just beating yourself up. Oh, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve that. Yeah, you do. Everybody deserves a chance, you know, and Jesus loves you and always will. He's just waiting. He hasn't turned his back on you. He's sitting there with his hand down waiting for you to grab it. You know?
Amen to that, man.
'Cause I always thought Jesus turned his back on me. No, I turned my back on Jesus.
It's powerful.
And he's sitting there crying, wanting you to come back. I mean, it's my vision of it, at least.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Give Jesus a shot.
Yes.
Give him a chance.
Yes.
See what happens.
Yes. He will help you. Prayer is powerful. Start off by praying, you know?
Yeah.
Prayer is powerful.
And you know, you're not the first person that we've had on the show that said, as soon as I truly opened the door for him, everything changed instantaneously. Like I wasn't even suffering with this to begin with. So I really think that this motif of people allowing Christ to intervene and seeing the change as a result is apparent, you know, at least in our videos.
Yeah.
Or with the people that we've seen. And you know, we don't, you know, pick and choose people just because they believe in God, or
right.
You know, everyone is given an opportunity to speak, but we see that, you know, Christ really does change people's lives. He's changed mine with many different ways, with a lot of people that I've seen.
Yeah. You know, once he heard me sincerely, like not just, please God, let me get out of this. Don't let me go to jail. Da, da, da. Once I sincerely was like on my knees, like truly from the heart, like, Jesus, help.
Yeah, I need you. Yeah.
And he knows when you're serious and when you're not. I feel, at least, because he knows your whole life ahead of time. He knew when I was going to get clean. He knew that he didn't allow me to die out there like many others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He knew I was going to get clean before this fentanyl hit the streets and people are dying left and right.
Yeah. If you're still alive, that means that there's a purpose.
Right.
You still have something to do.
Doesn't mean you can't die still. So,
yeah.
You know, there's always a
don't
too
test
late.
the waters.
Yeah. You know, I feel like, yeah, I mean,
if you were to go out today, if you were to meet God today, how would you want the people around you to remember you?
As a loving, caring, God-fearing, all-around good person, Christian. Like, I don't want them to think of me as some low-life drug addict, piece of crap. You know what I mean? Like, I want, like, he fulfilled his purpose in life. and that I was loved. I am loved. You know what I mean? I'm loved now. Like, I told all my friends, you know, I'm coming on this, I'm doing this, and I was nervous, and they're like, "You got this, dude. Heck yeah, dude, do it." You know, like,
You don't seem nervous.
now that I'm here, I'm like, in the beginning I was, you know, but like now I'm a pretty personable person. I feel like I'm pretty outgoing, and I feel comfortable, and I enjoy it. I enjoy this now. You know, I feel like we got to. It's cool, you know. I forgot all about the camera, you know. I'm all technically, you know, but yeah, I mean, I want people to. If I went out today and died, I want to be loved. I want to be remembered as a good person and somebody who loves Jesus and cared for his friends and family, and I would be happy and okay going up to Jesus's gates right now, up to heaven, gates of heaven, because I know I would go there, you know.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with it.
That's a powerful thought, man. Yeah. How okay would you be with meeting Jesus today if it was your last one?
I think he would give me a big old hug and be like, "I love
Welcome.
you, my son." You
Amen.
know, and at least I didn't die on drugs. But I feel like if I died on drugs, you wouldn't necessarily be going to heaven. Well, I don't know. I don't know that answer, you know? I mean, I've asked those questions, you know, and I even asked, like, my Bible study guy, the guy who runs the Bible study, like, what do you think other religions will go to heaven? Because there's like a line, you know, that you have to believe. I believe that if you don't believe that Jesus died on the cross for our sins and rose, you ain't going to heaven. And actively trying to better yourself, you know, and you have to
build a connection.
That too, and you also have to repent.
Yeah.
Your sins, man.
Every day.
Like, if you're just out there sinning and just say you believe in Jesus, like,
even the demons believe in Jesus. They know he's real, you know?
Yeah. Like it's funny because, like, people are all like, "Oh, all these people use God and Jesus and the devil," and like, you believe in all that, and you're trying to tell me there's no Jesus out there or God. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Doesn't make sense to me. You know, like, if you believe in the devil, you gotta believe in Jesus.
Of course.
Like, come on. Like, I don't know. Some people don't make any sense to me at all. Like, what you believe in doesn't even add up, dude. Like, you're trying to tell me my thing doesn't add up. Like, I don't know. But I'm at that point in life. I don't care what everybody thinks anymore. Like, this is what I believe, and I feel like spreading it to the people who don't believe, you know. But I don't knock them. I don't disrespect them for their beliefs, but at least I know what I believe, and I'm not afraid to vocalize it anymore, you know.
Powerful story, man.
Yeah. So,
Zach,
yeah,
appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank
Welcome
you
to
for
the
having
sober
me.
side, man.
That's right. Heck yeah,
it
man.
Was awesome, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.